Can you guys mute your mic, please? All right. Here we go. I think we are live. So we are live on Facebook. This is awesome. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back for the Rising Phoenix, the podcast on human design that is paying attention and studying whatever is happening with the transits on a weekly basis. And we're focusing on this mutation that is coming for 2027. And I'm so excited having all of you again, all the members of the hub, and having Tom with us. Tom, you spent 28 years with Ra, 30 years in design, observing, witnessing, studying design, paying attention to what's coming, your 4 quadrites. So really, really receptive on this future that is coming. And this is a 6-2, you know, this is most of us are 6-line being, 4-6 or 6-2s. We are here, we are really paying attention to what is coming. And that's what I would love to talk about today. You know, besides talking about the transit and having a deep look on the transit, it will be really amazing, really nice to put a little bit of emphasis, you know, and talk a little bit more about this 6 lines. So again, welcome everyone here. It's such a pleasure having you. I love playing some good music at the beginning, you know me. And yeah, woohoo! I think it's working. So let's start. Tom, how you doing?
Just another lovely day in paradise here, Ben. Yeah, everything is beautiful here. It's good, you know, and having a great time with this design community globally. It's just like so outrageous to be able to have relationships with people all over the planet. It's just, what a service. What a great service.
Totally. All right, well, let's take a look on our transits. What do we have here today? Where should we start? What can we say today about this transit? Well, what's something that is interesting is that we are under the cross of the sleeping phoenix.
Exactly.
That's what we have here. We have the cross of the sleeping phoenix, and that's what is coming for 2027. So maybe should we talk a little bit about that? Yeah,
definitely. That's what I was thinking of, going back to yesterday and going through it hourly, because we're what you see is we're getting a preview, and we're going to get a preview every year when we hit Gemini, where everything is all about expression, right? So we've been through all this stuff to let go of the past, to pay attention to what's coming. And now it's all about expressing that. All these gates in this first half of this quarter are all on throat gates. It's all about expressing. And then if you noticed, if we can do the hourly thing, fine. If we can't, but the moon is going through Libra. And so Libra, what is going on with that? I mean, let's just look at the Libra situation. Yesterday was in the 48th hexagram, so we're looking for, well, started in the 18th hexagram, so we're looking for correction. And then we go to the 40, we go to the, we go to 18, the 48, depth, and then we go to 57, awareness, okay? And then we go to 32, continuity. We go to the 50, what do we value? We go to the 28, what's the purpose? We go to the 44, what's the awareness? We go to the 1, what's the creativity? It's interesting to watch all of this stuff, to see the moon and the sun, what it's trying to get across to us. So I find it outrageously beautiful. And this is what the sleeping phoenix is all about. Wake up, pay attention. We're going to get this reminder every year at this point in time, and it's going to become more intense based upon the Jovian planets. We are looking at limitation in Pluto. We're looking at control in Chiron. You know, it's just a remarkable thing. And we're looking at abundance and the question of spirit in Jupiter. These Jovian planets are going to be very, very big about bringing in what's new. So that's what I'm seeing. Busy about what? What are
Yeah,
we going to be busy
totally.
about?
Exactly. Well, I mean, if we look at the sun, what do we have at the moment? And we have the sun that entered, the gate 20 a few days ago, and the gate 20 is contemplation. What are we contemplating? The gate of the direction of the now, where are we going? So we have been giving the chance to contemplate our action. And if we read the line underneath, it says recognition and awareness in the now, which transform understanding into right action. I really want to give you like an amazing, example that I had yesterday. I've been struggling a little bit with my previous landlords to get my deposit back, um, the this person had such a very awful communication and very passive aggressive, and then so yesterday I really had this chance to contemplate the direction that I'm taking, the direction where am I going. It's like, and I was really feeling yesterday this transit here, this gate 34, that was kind of like bringing so much rage and frustration out of me because the communication wasn't good, because it wasn't, correct. And then instead of being reactive in a way that's, going back to my old patterns and jumping the gun and yelling at the guy and, being so much into drama and conflict, I had the chance to really sit back and contemplate. And it was amazing because I really woke up to the pain body that was triggered here, and my mind was calling for more drama, for more conflict, for more pain. My mind was like, let's be reactive, let's, yell at this person, yes, all of that. And I really sat back and I was like, wait a second. And I stay here calm for like an hour, 2 hours, boiling inside of me, but witnessing my mind, observing, the talking of my mind and not reacting. And I was so proud of myself that I didn't jump the gun on this person. And I just say, well, thank you, and I will wait for my deposit. It's okay. And that's the, that's what the transit is asking us. And yesterday the moon was in the 57, so it was really the intuitive gentle clarity to get this, intuitive clarity on my direction that I want to take, on, the transformation, the understanding about my action, bringing awareness, being aware in the now. So I can what can I do? I can ground myself here with the earth on what, using my power, using this power instead of yelling at someone and creating more drama. No, it was like the awareness of recognizing, oh, wait a second, I don't want to go into, look at here, Neptune. I don't want to go into crisis anymore. Oh, wait a second, I have a crisis. I can transcend here. I can transcend the illusion, and I can grow. I can wake up. I can go back to what? Jupiter, that is all about abundance, strictly a question of spirit. So I can go back to my spirit and just be in this abundance of love. God, that's the direction that I want to go. So I can contemplate my direction. So anyway, that was kind of like my experience yesterday, and I was so proud of myself that I didn't let my pain body reacting, and I was very aware. And I think what I want to share with you is how we can be present. The presence is the key for us to witness this movie, to witness what's going on, to witness, to focus. Look at the nod, sixth line, being aloof of what we have been focusing for so many years that is obviously not working. And today being able to focus with gratitude on what actually is working for us, on actually what is meaningful for us, right? I mean, that was amazing. So that's kind of few things of the transits.
Ben, you are the man. What a beautiful demonstration of looking at problems and solutions and choosing solutions over problems. We don't have problems, we have solutions.
Mm-hmm.
What is a crisis other than
Mm-hmm.
an opportunity for progress? What is an emergency other than an opportunity to emerge and see? I mean, this is a beautiful thing. I've known you for a while. I've really enjoyed knowing you. You're a brother of mine, and I watched this thing go on with you, and you're really getting it. And this is the point.
Mm-hmm.
We are in
Mm-hmm.
we're in the cross of this waking up or not. Sleeping Phoenix. Are you going to remain asleep, or are you going to wake
Mm-hmm.
up to wake others up? Which is exactly what we're trying to do here. And you're
Mm-hmm.
just doing so incredibly
Mm-hmm.
well. I want people to see this is not about talking about it. It's about living it. As six lines, it's not about anything other than people watching what we do. They're not listening to what we say. They're watching what we do. And if our
Mm-hmm.
actions match our words, that's impressive. They'd be interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, congratulations, Ben. It's when the mind is so noisy, you can't hear anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on. When the mind is quiet, that's when you get the benefit of all this download that's coming on. And get the joke. While all that was happening, the 57th gate was running. Well, so what do we got? We got three of the gates of integration. So what are we doing? We're
Mm-hmm.
integrating. All right. This is an incredible time to integrate what it is that we've been talking about and hoping for and know is coming. You know, part of this is prophecy, and I've been watching these prophecies come true now for 28 years, and they are really going to get wild here, boys and girls. It is, if you're not waking up on your own, you're going to be woke up by the noise in the world. But waking up is what it's all about. Bless your heart, Ben. Great story.
Thank, yeah, thank you, Tom. Yeah, yeah. You know, that's really what I realized yesterday. This since the sun entered into the gate 20 and we have this sleeping phoenix configuration at the moment with the program, I can really feel that it is about waking up. It really is. And you know, it's about waking up to who we are. It's about waking up to, yeah, just to, yeah, it's very, very fascinating, very interesting. Also, maybe I could say waking up to, what is this one? The 2034. It's the pure manifesting generator channel that is all about being busy, 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 you know, the busyness, but waking up to maybe, what am I busy for? Why am I trying to be busy? What am I trying to do? And look at the nodal configuration. The nodal configuration, and we're gonna have this configuration for quite a little while now. And this nodal configuration is all about being aloof to what we have been focusing and using our skills for the last decades and decades and decades. So maybe it's about waking up and realizing that we don't want to be busy on doing all those things again. And maybe we do want to be busy to something different. Look at the gate 9 with the 6th line. It says gratitude, the power to enjoy the concentrating process. Maybe we do want to be busy and focusing on what brings us joy and gratitude, so we can take the direction, a future direction where we have the enthusiasm of sharing our skills, or, you know, being fulfilling ourselves with something that is meaningful, being busy with something that is truly satisfying, out of the generator or out of the sacral, this 3420 that is all about satisfaction instead of experiencing rage and anger, because, you know, we're running around trying to manifest, trying to force things, reacting instead of, oh, wait a second, you know, paying attention and bringing awareness, waking up. That's what it is. Yes, we are reacting species, but it doesn't mean that we need to react like idiots, completely unconscious and on autopilot, not knowing why we're reacting like that, because we slave of the mind. That's what I realized yesterday. I was like, wait a second, I'm claiming back my sovereignty. I don't want to be a slave of my pain anymore. I don't want to be a slave of my mind. I don't want to be a slave of my pain body and unconsciously reacting to whatever, you know, is those cellular memories, trauma memories that is in my body. So I'm reacting to that. I don't want this. I want to claim back my sovereignty. I want to be aware. I want to be able to contemplate what's the direction that I'm taking, you know? So that's the whole transit right now.
He's a man
Yeah.
on
Anything
fire.
else to add?
He's a man
Yeah,
on
yeah.
fire. He's got the
Yeah, and the
passion of
moon.
love.
Totally. And the moon, you know, look at the moon. What do we have in the moon? Duration, the gate of continuity. What are we choosing to continue to transmit? The gate 32 that is going here into the 4426, the channel of surrendering. What am I choosing to continue to transmit? To what do I want to surrender? The duration. I mean, so much to say here. It's really about paying attention on what is coming. We don't want to keep repeating the same stupid things. You know, we don't want that. Does it make sense? Anyone want to say something? Please feel free to unmute yourself. Any questions, comments, observation, you know, feel free to share how you guys have been feeling lately. How is transit going on for you? Can you resonate with all of that? Any insight you would like to share? And Tom, please, again, you know, feel free if you have anything else that you would like to say.
I was going to introduce Fred, who's responsible for all this trouble we're causing, but he left. He was here for a moment and then he disappeared. But that's a reflector for you, right? If he shows back up, I'd certainly love to introduce everybody to Fred. He's the one that brought Ben and I together. And so we have him to blame or to congratulate for whatever it is we are doing. All right. No, I would really like other people. I would like other people to jump in. We've done what we had to do. This is not a class. This is not a lecture. So somebody, please stick your neck out, jump in. It's going to be a beautiful contribution for doing so.
Okay, I'm not going to wait because it's like, oh my gosh. I think it's just bringing more clarity to what happened with our breathwork session yesterday, like crazy. So my question for you is, when we look at the transit, it says the right angle cross of the sleeping phoenix. And you said something very interesting, both of you, that this is what's to come. So are we getting that energy that we're going to feel once 2027 hits? And so does that make sense? Like, I don't know how to word this. Like, basically, are we getting a little preview of what it's going to feel like? People start to have clarity. People are going to start to like say, no more, we're going to do this. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, exactly. Well, think about that. Yes, right now, you know, you're experiencing for like 5-6 days the transit that is into the sleeping phoenix, which is all about waking up to yourself, you know, waking up, having the ability to contemplate the direction that you are taking, having the ability to ground yourself by recognizing the way you're using your sacral energy, the way you are engaging, entering with your sacral energy. Is it correct for me? Is it the right direction? Is it the right action? Recognition and awareness in the now, which transform understanding into the right action. So when we're gonna hit 2027, well, this is going to be the background frequency. This is going to be what will support us. We're not gonna be into the incarnation cross of planning. We're gonna have 400 years of the sleeping phoenix. So right now what we're having is a taste of the spinning that is rising off the ashes, the phoenix that is starting slowly to waking up, to rising, to come into the world. We're letting go of the cross of planning. We're moving slowly into the awakening, into this ability to wake up, to claim back your sovereignty, to say, stop. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to waste my sacral energy anymore. I want to be aware. I want to integrate. This is part of the integration channel. This is all about, I don't want to talk about design anymore. I want to live it. I want to feel it. I want to be design. I want to embody whatever I'm contemplating, whichever direction I'm taking. It's not anymore about talking about it. Look at the line. Today we are into the third line. It says self-awareness. Understanding derived from analysis of personal actions and effect. The expression of self-conscious awareness in the now. It's incredible. It's a pure in the now channel energy. This is what is happening for all of us, for everyone who is paying attention, for everyone who is willing to simply look at the transit and to look at, okay, what is happening? Where this is taking me? Oh, I see. And it is painful because all of us, we are waking up to the pain body. The pain body that is here, that has been, keeping us in slavery for years and years, reacting unconsciously when we get triggered. We get triggered by something, we just react unconsciously on autopilot, and we create more drama, more suffering, more chaos, more pain, because we're just reacting based on the past trauma that we have, and we still haven't healed this. And we're just so unconscious, and we're pointing the finger on others, and we say, no, this is your fault. You did that to me. You blah, blah, blah. And it's just autopilot. There's no awareness. And we get more and more frustration. But what the transit and what the whole background frequency is asking us is to come back to awareness, contemplation. Where are we going? And as Tom repeats many times, it's not the time for battlefield anymore. We're done with the battlefield. It's time to heal our wounds, to heal our hearts, and to recognize there's no competition here. There's no need to be certain. There's no reason to be afraid of one another. There's no reason to feel threatened by one another. There's no reason to be scared of lacking of anything. I mean, Jupiter gonna be here for quite a little time as well. 73 days we're gonna have Jupiter. 2 months. Jupiter is here to teach us abundance. It's just a question of spirit. That's beautiful. So I hope he helped answer your question. Tom, anything you would like to say as well about what Christie's comment?
You can't say it much better than you said it. But what I would add to it is, for a girl that can't put things into words, she asked exactly the right question, and beautifully done. So think of it like this, okay? We're going to wake up or not in 2027. What we have going on now every year, it's like the snooze button on your alarm clock, right? You can press the snooze button for a while, but you're going to have to get up at some point and make the coffee, wake up, smell the coffee, and get into the world as the world is, and it's not going to be the same world. So the reason what's happening right now, and it's been happening for a while, but it's going to become more intense, okay? We are having discussions about this. We are no longer able to ignore this, particularly if you have a 6th line in your profile, conscious or unconscious. By the way, for all people that have the 6th line unconscious, I'm sending the information about what it is to be a 6-2 and what's coming in the future. I've always sent it to 6-2s and 6-3s. Now I'm focusing on sending that information. Ben has it on the web, on the hub as well. It's very important because I want to see what unconscious 6th line beings are experiencing. Christy, you're one of them, okay? You're one of them. And yesterday, as a 4-6, you were lit up like a Christmas tree. No, that's not bright enough. You were lit up like the sun. You were really on fire, okay? And that's a beautiful thing. And so So the alarm is going to keep going off. You can only push the snooze button so many more times. And it's time to be awake or be recognized as being part of the problem rather than part of the solution. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My son who lives with me, I'm sorry, I have the camera off, but I'm talking, Anita here. My son who is 21 who lives with me for a few months, he is 4'6".
Mm-hmm.
And it's been very interesting with us together now as he's grown up and lived by himself for a while.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very interesting to see how we work together compared with when he was young and lived with me. You know, because then I sort of because both of my sons, they have defined roots and I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a lot of energy and drive on their behalf. Like all the time I had all this drive because they were sort of driving me, I guess. I as I understanding, I don't know, I'm sort of asking you if that is the case. And now that he is grown up and I have started a couple of years ago to live my design, to experiment, I refusing to sort of get into that drive. You know, the pressure, I feel the pressure, a lot of pressure when he's around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does that fit? Do I notice it right? Sort of. When he has a defined route, he is a 4'6", but he is also he's an emotional generator,
Mm-hmm.
not manifesting generator like me.
Mm-hmm.
But he seems to get into these situations where he feel like he says everything that I feel, that my time is worth something. And he's not talking about me, he's talking about jobs and different jobs he has, like, because he is sort of, you know, of the trial and error. And so with the sixth line unconscious, and then he is sort of telling me all the time, like, he needs to get it out, like, I don't want to just work all my life. I don't want to live like that. My time is worthy, and I encourage that and say, yes, I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and because I have recently, you know, only a few years ago started to live by that, and then he has the 4'6" and I have the 6'2". So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's very interesting. I just wanted to share that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe we could speak a little bit about this sixth line, you know, and I can see in the Facebook group, there's a lot of question about sixth line. People are really talking about, and actually I really invite people from Facebook to join the hub so we can, you know, talk more in depth about all of that. But Tom, what can we say about the sixth line process? A lot of people are asking, you know, between 30 and 50, how can we deal with our finance? Or, you know, what are we supposed to do? I think there's a lot of question at the moment for sixth line. A lot of us are maybe just like wandering around, not really knowing. And it's okay, right? We can tell those people it's okay not knowing what to do or not knowing where to go, and just not knowing, it's okay.
It's more than okay. And the fact that they're asking the questions is a good sign. We never questioned. We just did what we were told to do for so long. That's how we became not selves. The sixth line is separate from the call unless it's a good call. And they're not so excited by so many of the calls they're getting. All this constant efforting to try to achieve something, it may not be worthy. Okay. And sixth line beings are waking up to that. And one of the first things, you know, when you wake people up before they are ready to get up, they're grumpy, right? So you're in a bad mood. You're going, oh, well, you know, what the hell? Why do I have to wake up? What is going on? And wake up to what? You know, this hasn't happened. We have never had emotional awareness on this planet. We've had emotional craziness. I mean, emotions, they're beautiful, okay? That's where we're going. But when they're not clear, they're the source of so much violence. This is what we're trying to get away from, okay? We're trying to get off the battlefield. We're trying to be peaceful rather than angry all the time. We're trying to be satisfied rather than frustrated, sweet rather than bitter. You know, we're trying to get back to being ourselves. Sixth line beings have no choice about this. This is why it's so important for people to get this information about what it is to be a sixth line being in this particular time. We're the first ones over the hill with the new information. The collective is not going to be impressed with that. They don't want to change. They want to go back to normal. Everybody talks about, oh, we want to go back to normal. How many times have I said normal is a damn setting on the dryer? It ain't going to do nothing for you. We're not about being normal. We're about making one of the largest steps, one of the biggest and suddenlies in the evolutionary process on this planet is 5.5 years away. And so their discomfort is trying to wake them up. You can't stay asleep when you're feeling uncomfortable. You wake up in the middle of the night. You're in the demon realm. What the hell is going on? It's actually a good sign. It's actually a good sign. And I tell people, if you're a little uncomfortable right now, and if you feel like you're going through a lot of stuff right now, count yourself amongst the blessed, because you're waking up to what's coming. So then when what's coming gets here, you can welcome it rather than be freaked out by it. You can be a part of the solution rather than a part of the problem. History is the way things used to be. It's not the way things are going to be. Got to let go of where you are to get where we're going. So the waking up is quite a process. I hope I thank you, Anita, for talking about your 4 6s. Well, there's really something to say about that. Okay, the 6 is not interested in the 4, and the 4 is not interested in the 6. That's an interesting relationship to have when you're the parents and the children, right? But your children are indicating something very interesting. They don't want to be forced into the so-called collective wisdom, the so-called old tribal bargains. They're looking for something else, for you to encourage them in that, getting in touch with their unconscious so they can find the real opportunity that exists for them. That's a good thing. Okay.
Yeah.
It is not a bad thing that they're saying, I don't want to do what's been done. That's actually a good thing.
Yeah, I say that to him. I encourage him, and because like he is, the boss keeps calling him early in the morning, and I told him to just put his phone then on mute then, not have the phone in the room earlier. I said that, and then he says his boss is calling all the time early in the morning instead of asking him the night before to come to work, and then he said, I have plans and I don't want to do that. Exactly. But of course he needs the money, but he sticks on that. He sticks to that, and I am actually just amazed that something must have gone through to him through when he grew up, because I always been talking about this thing that money isn't everything, and it's much more important to be happy, and all I care about is that you be happy. But his older brother, he doesn't live with me. He is a 2-4. So it's very interesting. Like both my sons have something that I do. Yeah, very interesting. And I was a single mom with them too. So it's been quite a journey. And we are really close. And but it's really interesting to see how alike we are, all three, and then different. And then those two have something in common, and that is the 4 line. And me and the oldest had the 2 line in common, and the youngest the 6 line. Very interesting.
Christine, you wanted to say something?
Yes. Hello, everybody. Beautiful people. I would love to speak out because I actually have the right angle cross of the sleeping phoenix. And so this has been a super interesting transit for me, because I look at the what is it? What's the channel of what is it? The 2034
charisma, the channel of charisma.
Yeah. So that's activated, and that's one of my channels. And I've been led to write my vision over the past week, which I was surprised about how much clarity came through. And it's like the universe already knew I was going to be doing, like, the timing is, there's no way I could have planned it. And the stuff that I came up with scared the pants off of me in one way, and another way I'm excited. But I also notice right now in the transit that the pressure centers are open, and mine are as well. And so I've been in this swirl of massive clarity, massive pressure. And just by looking at this is, it's pretty exciting. But my question about this is, since when you are in a transit, that is your personal human design transit,
Mm-hmm.
what does that usually do for a person?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great question, Christine. And
Yeah.
here's the problem people deal with, okay? They think they have to find a position in life, and they think somebody outside of them is going to tell them what that position is. When you're experiencing your own cross, you're being reminded of the position that your maker gave you, okay? Okay, it's not about getting some information from the outside. It's about getting who you actually are. So you look at your cross and get into what that's about, and then you look at where the nodes are at. You'll see where you're at on the highway in that process at this particular time and space. So you know you're on the cross of the sleeping phoenix, okay? Look at where the nodes are at. Consciously speaking, they're on the cross of identification. What can I identify with? What details can I focus on because I can identify with it or not? And that's not somebody else's opinion. It's you. It's for you to make that decision based upon following your type and your strategy. You see what I'm saying? And that's where your actual opportunity as a fourth line being is at. You don't have to go looking for it. It's in you. It's an inside job. It's an inside job. So keep paying attention, dear. That's how we get where we're going, by paying attention on the inside. We return to the inner truth to get the aha. It isn't talking to Swami Tukargaraji in Varanasi. He doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And there's Simona, please, do you want me to read your question, or do you want to just share about and talk about it?
Yeah, so I posted in the Facebook group about, I guess I'm in my first phase at the moment, and I'm in between jobs, and all of this is happening as well. And I'm also a quad right, so I feel like there's just so much going on for me right now. And I live with, my mom's a 4/6 manifestor. And both my mom and my sister have defined egos. I've got an undefined ego. So I'm just getting triggered. Basically, my question is, how do you restore the optimism after you get like pushed down instantly?
Yeah. This is
I don't know.
This is a very, very, very good comment, very good question. And I really want to tell you, I feel you. I 100% feel you. And don't worry at all. Your optimism will come back. It will. One of the first things that is really important for 6-2 is don't ever give up on your optimism. Don't ever believe your mind telling you that life gonna sucks for your entire time, that you're gonna be pessimist and life sucks, and don't believe that from your mind. And usually 6-2s during the first 30 years of our lives, and all the 6th line, we have so much shit happening to us, so much so-called mistakes, error during this trial and error phase, and we just so caught up into the nonsense bullshit of the world, and we seeing that, and it's so much nonsense for us, and we lose the optimism. We really lose that. But don't believe in your mind telling you that life gonna keeps going like that, and it gonna be sucks, and you can really restore the optimism by simply being excited of what when something doesn't work. It's an opportunity for you to pop the champagne, because it means it wasn't correct for you, and what's correct, it's on the way. And I know it's difficult to think like that, but if you can shift your perception and being, oh, that's nice, I discovered that it doesn't work. Oh, that's so cool. I know this doesn't work, so I know I'm not gonna do the mistake again. So today, every time I find out something that is not working for me, I'm really happy and excited, because it saved me times.
Yeah.
you know,
So true.
instead of being like, does it make sense to you?
Yeah, definitely. But how do you know where to go next? Is it like you start getting excited about life again and then things just, I guess, yeah, I'm a manifesting generator, so I have to wait to respond, but
Yeah.
just get excited about life again and then things will sort of, I don't know.
Yeah, and then Tom, want to say something because he's a quite right too. But
Yeah.
one of the things that was really life-changing for me is when I succeed to relax and to get my mind interested in the process of waiting. When my mind was interested of sitting here with me and waiting to see what was coming, then everything shifted. Because when you tell your mind, wait, it will come to you, you're going to see it's coming. And look, that's what Jupiter is asking to us right now, to work on your mindset of abundance. I had
I've been about abundance quite a lot.
so many, so many clients of mine were like, Ben, I'm afraid of spending money because I don't know if money gonna comes back to me. So they don't want to spend their money into, things that they love because they're scared that it's not coming back. Because they're like, I don't know what's coming. I don't know if it will come again. So when you shift your mindset and you're like, yeah, I know if I sit here, good things are coming to me. I'm excited to see to what am I respond. To what am I going to respond? That's me. Every morning when I wake up, I'm like, ooh, it's Christmas Day. What is coming to me? To what am I going to respond? I feel excited. I'm really excited about it. I'm like, fuck yeah. So then the pessimism go away. It really does.
Okay. Mindset.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good things are supposed to come to you. We live in a world where everyone is expecting bad things. Well, guess what? It's true. If you expect bad things, but that's what you're going to have. But if you expect that good things are coming on your way, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's true. It's so good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tom, please. Yeah.
Simona, you know the beauty of the word pessimism, don't you? Pessimism is an intelligent response to the fact that so much that you were told isn't true, doesn't work. So many of the things that you've tried didn't work. And I'm going to tell you something, dear. You have never made a mistake in your life, and you never will make a mistake in your life. Not one, not ever, in spite of everybody else's opinion. Your response to their opinion should be, well, thank you very much for your opinion, but it doesn't make a very strong contribution to my experience or reality, okay? So, because we're on Facebook, this is a bit of a story, but I have to tell you this story, okay? Because I have to get around your mind to convince you that you've never made a mistake. When I tell a third line, you're a 6'2", right?
Yes.
You're a quadrite 6'2". Well, you weren't born a 6'2", you were born a 3'2", okay? So you go through the so-called trial and error process, all right? Did you notice I said so-called?
Yeah.
Okay? You're not out there making mistakes. You're out there making something else. And I'm going to tell you a story, and then I'm going to get you to tell me what you were doing there, okay? It's a bit of a story. Bear with me, everybody. But for every 6-line being who's been through this process, every 4-6, every 3-6, every 6'2", every 6'3", we all go through this. That's why they call us the good that die young. Well, you're not going to die. You're too strong for that, and you're too smart for that. Okay, so here we are standing at the mouth of the cave, shivering in the dark, wondering what the hell to do. It's not like they sent us down here with an owner's manual, right? So you're a 3-2, and you're looking at this and you're saying, well, I don't know what to do, but I know that if I do what they're doing, we're all going to die of starvation and hypothermia, right? So you say, well, I think I'm going to run off into the woods and see what I can find. I'm not going to stand here and die a slow death. And here comes the wagging finger. Don't you dare go running off into those woods. Don't you hear those sounds coming from there? You're not going to find something to eat. You're going to be something to eat. So you, third line person, evaluate. You say, well, let me evaluate. So what you're saying is that if I do what I want to do, I'm going to die. And if I do what you are doing, I know I'm going to die. Let's make it exciting. So you run off into the woods and they're protesting and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you run off into the woods. And just like they said, you get about 100 yards into the woods, and you trip over a rock. You fall in a hole. In the bottom of that hole is a brightly colored mushroom. You look at that mushroom and say, looks like food to me, and pop it in your mouth, right? Going to take a break in the story. I want you to know these little clowns, okay? They have small heads, they have big bodies, okay? And they're weighted at the bottom. You knock them over. What do? They come right back up, right? Keep that in your mind, in the back of your mind, okay? All right, so about 45 minutes later, after popping that mushroom in your mouth, oh, this is not going very well. It was the wrong mushroom to put in your mouth. And you go, oh my God, here comes the pessimism, right? Oh my God, perhaps they were right. Maybe I was wrong. Okay, so you're going through this process and you think, okay, if I'm going to die, I don't want to die by myself, so I'm going to crawl back. And as soon as you're crawling back in pain, they go, we told you so, right? You're familiar with that, right? Okay, fine. So what? All right. The next morning, the sun has come up. It's still raining. Those people are shivering so hard you can hear their bones rattling, okay? They're starving. You're numb. You're just glad you're still alive. You're not hungry. You're not cold. You're actually in a better position than they are, and they're yapping at you. So they say, well, fool, we hope you learned your lesson. And you say, I sure did. And they say, well, as if we're supposed to listen to a fool, but why don't you tell us, what did you learn? Don't eat those mushrooms. All right? All right. So same thing. You say, well, I'm better off than they are. The hunter, the shaman, he's noticing, well, she did survive. Okay. That's interesting. She did survive. What? Okay. So second night, you take off again instead of getting, and they're screaming and yelling, we can't believe you. You learned nothing. Okay. So this time, instead of getting 100 yards, you get 200 yards. Instead of tripping over a rock, you trip over a log. Instead of falling in a hole, you fall in a ditch. In the bottom of that ditch is a little stream. Beside that little stream, different color, different size, different shape, mushroom. Remember the clown? Looks like food to me, and you pop it in your mouth, right? About 45 minutes later, this is going really interesting. I think that plant just said something to me. I didn't know plants could speak. And what that plant said to me was that my name is lamb's quarter. I'm what your people in the future are going to refer to as spinach, okay? I'm very warming. I'm very blood building. I'm very nutritious. Oh, and by the way, we noticed that not only are you starving to death, but you have a credibility problem with your tribe. They think you're a fool, okay? So here's what we want you to do. That mushroom you had an experience with last night. You learned something from that, didn't you? It was poisonous, but it didn't kill you. But there are some other plants out here that are so poisonous, they would have killed you, okay? And a lot of people have given their life finding these things up. It's the third line who's willing to take the fall and go out there and make, we're gonna leave that blank for a moment. I want you to ponder. What do I want you to say? Make, okay. So you go back to the tribe with this poison hemlock. And you tell the hunter, look, next time you go hunting, if you get brave enough to go hunting, put this on the end of your spear. You won't lose 3 hunters to an animal that's rather irritated that you want to eat it, right? Yeah. Okay. Think about it. What are you doing if you're not making mistakes? You are making
discovery.
Discoveries. You are finding a better way for everyone, and you're the one who's willing to take the fall to go out there and make this discovery for people. Never made a mistake in your whole life, never will. So you're going to let go of the pessimism, return to your optimism. How old are you right now, Simona?
I'm 25.
Well, there you go. Okay. So 29 years, 4 years from now, you're going to go up on the roof and you're going to go, wow, but you've got new information now. You weren't making mistakes. You were making discoveries to improve life. They were standing around doing nothing. Okay. Think about that. I hope you find that useful and helpful. All third line beings. The moment I see a 6th line in a profile or a 3rd line in a profile, that's where we start. To let you know that you're not the fool that everybody thinks you are. You're the one who's preventing everybody from being the fool. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, long story. It's longer when I tell the long version of it, but I just wanted to get it out for you. And I hope that you, I hope you find that useful. You're not making mistakes, dear. Continue on. You will discover what works and what doesn't work. And that will be your wisdom later in life.
Mhm.
The fact that you were born to be wise doesn't mean you were born wise. You were born to be wise. What does work and what doesn't work. You're going up on the roof in 4 years and you'll say, wow, I can't believe they're still trying that. That ain't got nowhere to go. You'll know that. You'll know that. But I've done that. That ain't going nowhere. The gods themselves bow to experience, right?
Mhm.
Totally. And as a quad right though, is it more difficult, do you think?
Because you're so open, okay, to what's coming, you're not that interested in what's been. History is the way it used to be. It's not the way it's going to be, okay?
Yeah.
So it's, yes, on the one hand, it can be difficult because we're the strangers in a strange land. When I first saw Heinlein's book called Stranger in a Strange Land, I said, I don't know who Heinlein is and I don't know what that book's about, but I know it's about me. Because I was a quadrite. I'm a stranger in a strange land. I look at all this stuff. I said, what are these monkeys doing? Which is why we go out and try to find something else, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that you're so receptive to that, listen, you'll never have to study anything. Just keep taking it in, keep taking it in. And then when somebody gives you a stage like Ben has done for me, I spent 28 years getting all this information to have all the qualification for a job that didn't exist. Nobody's asking, right? Ben, he's a great guy. He gets a lot of people together and he invites me to this thing. And I all of a sudden, I'm in a position where all these people are there. I was amazed at what came out of me. I read 56, 57, I don't know, however, nobody left. I read all these charts. It's all in there. Just keep filling the well up. Just keep filling the well up. And then when people come to you and ask you for your wisdom, watch what comes flying out of you. It will surprise you. That's what it is to be a quadrite. It's a blessing and a cursing, as all things are.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, amazing. I love that. That's really good, you know. And yeah, I'm really glad you asked this question. I bet we have a lot of 6 lines, 6 twos, 4 6, you know, watching the live on Facebook. And the best advice ever, 6 line. Think about that. The 6th line is separated from the call. The 6th line is separated from the rest of the hexagram. The 6th line is seeing the big picture. And what we are trying to do here, because when we're going to hit 2027, with the precession of the equinox, we're going to move from the 1st line to the 6th line. It's quite of a massive jump. 1st line, right now, the background frequency, it's all about insecurities, paranoid, you know, investigation, introspection, all those security deposit, all those, I need to get certified, you need a graduation, you need to be certified on that, otherwise you cannot teach this. You know, it's all about control and control and control. And it's very narrow. But when we're going to go to the 6th, and we are 6 people, as a 6th line, we look at the big picture. We look at the big understanding of the universe. We look in a bigger way what humanity is here for. Instead of being so caught up into our little mind, little ego, trying to work hard and make more money and build more buildings and creating more that and building a ship to go on Mars, you know, when everyone is starving in Africa, you know, all those little, not saying that it is bad because there's nothing moralistic, but we're going to start paying attention on different things. We're going to start looking at the world in a very different way. We're going to be, wait a second, I'm here on this planet that is rotating, on this giant planet, water, blue planet, rotating in a universe around a big ball of fire. that is the sun, with billions of stars, who am I? You know, it's going to be really different. And that's what the sixth line is. And that's what I keep telling to sixth line. You know, relax. Look at the bigger picture. We don't know why we are here. We don't know what we're doing. And it's okay. Just chill, relax. Look at the process. There's something bigger that is happening. And we are here to be part of this human's evolution. You know?
Thank you so
And
much.
when you
Ben.
fully embody that, yeah, you know, when you, I don't know for you guys, but personally, when I fully embody in that and I stop, you know, being caught up in my little mind, little ego, trying to accomplish something that was bigger than me, trying to become something, you know, when I really let go of this, it's such a stress relief, because then you can sit, you can relax, you know, there's nothing to prove, nothing to accomplish. I mean, how many, the society is putting so much pressure that before 30, you need to have your job, you need your mortgage, you need to have your house, you need to have a car, you need to have kids and family and getting married. And, you know, there's so much pressure, right, on all of this. And that before 25, you need to be graduate from high school. And before 35, you need to be all set up with your family. And before 40, you need to achieve that. Now, there's so much pressure on, but we all on a different timeline. And that's what also the transit of today, the right angle cross of the sleeping phoenix. Right angle, it's a personal destiny. It's not about you. Oh, that's cool. You got everything figured out at 25, you married, you have kids. I'm happy for you. Well, thank you very much. I'm 34, I'm single. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life. I'm a nomad. I don't even have a house. I really don't know, and I'm happy with that. And it's fine. It's me. Let me do me, please. You know, take off the pressure that there's a timeline to do things. No, look at Tom. He waited 28 years, and now with wisdom, he can come off the roof and share experience. And sixth line, that's where we're going. The maturity is 40. We're gonna share wisdom after 50. We have so much time. And you know what? I used to be really impatient. I used to hate that. I wanted everything right now. I want to have it now. Why I can have that now? Why he has the fame and I'm not famous now? You know, those kind of shitty things that, you know, sixth line. We want to be recognized. We want to be seen. Why nobody's listening to me? Why they don't listen to the wisdom that I have to share? You know? Oh boy, I tell you what, today I want to stay in my room. I want to be a hermit. Leave me alone. Maybe I will come and share something. Maybe, you know? But today I love knowing that nothing major gonna happen before my 50. And I'm like, thank God, I still have time. Thank God. You know, that feels really good.
And Ben, when we have the privilege of being ourselves, there's less wear and tear. We're going to live longer.
Mm-hmm.
What causes the body to wear out? All this wear and tear from stuff that's not important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The receptive. Think about what that's saying. It's not that we have to do all this. We just have to be receptive to it. It's coming. It's coming. When the background milieu goes from this insecure, paranoid nonsense to this sitting on the roof, objective observation, it's going to be a lot less to do. It's coming. We just have to be receptive to it. There'll be a lot less effort. We're the only species on this planet that pays to live here. That's because of the monetary value system. Money isn't everything. It's necessary. We have to have food, blah, blah, blah. Have what you need. You don't need to have so much more than what you need. That's why the distribution of the resources is so grotesque, because of a skewed value system. What do you want to focus on? That's where the where the nodes of the moon are at right now. We're being woke up to ask the question, what do I want to pay attention to? What do I want to focus on? Do I want to focus on all this strategic warfare? Or would I prefer receptive peace and cooperation as opposed to competition? These are the questions that are before us right now. This is when the alarm clock goes off. It says, hey, are you waking up to what's coming? Or are you planning on being asleep? Because those that are sleeping, they're going to sleep forever. They call it leaving the body. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, those of us that are a part of what's coming, we're going to be energized by that. And there's going to be less effort required to achieve what you need to achieve, because it's not going to be so much greed and monetary value system. All money does is lose 10% of its value every year. Okay. That's what it does. It takes money plus people who've got minds and hearts that want to do something that's beneficial for humanity to make any of that any good. It's a fuel. It's a catalyst. You can't eat the damn stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you're getting the point. Yeah, I believe that you are. I can see a smile on your face. That's always a good sign. If your face is sore when we get done, we've done a good job, because there was a lot to smile about. These are muscles that don't get used often enough. They were intended to be used on a regular basis. Yeah. Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Anita is asking in the chat, like, Ben, can you share how did you started the hub? Was it based on responding with your strategy, your authority? Like, what's the story behind that? And I can share a little bit if you guys want, and then we can continue, to share our observation and question. So he always gives us something to respond. We generator. Tom and I are coming here on Sunday. So every Sunday we have the Raising Phoenix, in the Hub 27. We have those podcasts, those transit reports where we pay attention on the transits. I'm a total open throat. So I really don't know what I'm going to say unless I'm asked. That's what generators are here for. We are here to wait and to respond, so we know how we can engage our energy in a way that will be satisfying. And with my open throat, and I'm half right on my variables, same, I'm taking in everything, and I really don't know what will come out. So last year in September, even early in June, one of my friend Julie, she was like, Ben, why don't you just create something that we can pay a membership, and you do weekly class or weekly something, because I'm missing the class. I took Living Your Design, I took Rev ABC, I'm waiting for cartography with you, but between, I'm just missing the class. I want to be able to gather with my human design people. And I was like, oh yeah, maybe, we'll see. And in September, October last year, when I was very high on magic mushrooms, doing 6 grams, 8 grams, I really had the voice came and really talked to me, and I really download all these ideas and think about having the Hub 27. And during my downloads, it was the Hub 27. And the Hub, if you break down the word HUB, it's who be. And who is for human being. And the B is my name, Ben, Benjamin, be present, be here, who, human, be the human, So that was the spirit who came to me. And when I asked him, how should I call that? Or who are you? What's your name? And he said, my name is who be, the spirit that is talking through me. And that's how I call it the hub, because that's the container. So the hub and Y27, if you look at the gate, the hexagram 27 in the body graph, it's the hexagram of nourishment, the gate of caring. And that's the harmonic gate with the cauldron, the gate of value, and I have the gate 50. So who be the spirit was like, what do you want to nourish? What do you want to continue to put into your cauldron? What kind of value do you want to focus on? Where do you want to put your energy? And then I was like, well, I want something that nourished me. And it was like, what's the gate of nourishment? And I was like, oh, 27. And 27, because 2027 is coming. So that's how I call it the Hub 27. That's the story of it. Isn't it amazing? Yeah.
Great story, Ben.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, well, do you guys have a yeah, Christine, you need to go. Okay, I'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Nice. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Any questions, comment, observation? Tom, is anything we can continue to say about sixth line, about maybe, you know, what to expect on this sixth line vibration for 2027, or maybe anything to add about the transit? As we can see right now, we are manifesting generator. We have only one channel, which is the channel of charisma. It's an individual channel, so it's a lot about mutation, you know. And if we look at the name of it, a design where awareness must become deed. The awareness of what? Contemplating the direction we are taking, contemplating the way we engage our power. Remember, out of the sacral, it must be in response of something, so we can use our power in a way that will satisfy us, that will, you know, fertilize. That's what the sacral is. It's the sexuality, the fertility. Every time you use your energy with your sacral, you fertilize something. But mostly, are you available? Are you available to respond and use your life force energy to fertilize, to take the direction, to use your energy to build something that is deep, that is bringing awareness? And then you are charismatic. That's what this channel is all about. You know, you are charismatic. And today is the third line day, by the way. So today, you know, it's all about discovering what works and what doesn't work. So let's stay in observation. That's the collective transit conditioning that we have. Anything else? Anita, you raising your hand. Anything you would like to say? Add questions, comments, observation?
Yes, since I have this 3420 and the what is it, 659 and 4816. I don't know if you mentioned those, but I have those natally. And since I'm coming off the roof soon, and because I have been relaxing, but you know, as you start sort of expecting something or waiting on something when you soon come off the roof. So I just wondered, when friends have been telling me, I just contemplating now, when friends have been telling me like, why don't you do this and that? That is sort of an invitation, even though it's not for them. Why don't you create this and that? That is something for me to respond to if I feel I am extremely emotional manifesting generator. So of course I will feel the wave, and if I then feel after the wave have settled that I want to do this, that was enough of an invitation to respond to, or I know I don't need invitation, but then I had something to respond to, because I am a little bit confused about what is something to respond to. Because you said something about a friend asking you, and also you got a download. And I meditate every day, done it for years, and I have all these intuitive insights. Is that also something to respond to?
Well, you know, it's a good question. It can be tricky to fully grasp what it means to respond as a generator. And the first thing that I want to share, and you know, maybe Tom has also a lot of story to share on that, and the rest of you, because you know, it's not about me preaching anything, but my understanding personally, for me, we respond to everything. I'm going to respond to the sound of something. I'm going to respond to the weather. I'm going to respond to, we respond to everything. But when people talk to me, the first things that I say, stop should over me. Stop telling me what to do. Stop telling me you should do that. You could do that. I don't give a fuck. Stop saying that to me. Ask me clear yes or no question. Because whatever you think I should do is a projection of you wanting doing something, not being capable of doing it, and projecting on me because you want to live your dream or expectation through me. So go fuck yourself. You know, don't do
Yeah,
that.
lots of people have done that to me over the years.
Yeah, you know,
Telling
we
me that I am
60.
perfect.
Yeah.
I'm perfect for this and that all the time. And I say, yeah, maybe I will do that. I don't know. I will see. I will see.
Yeah. You know, the second line, everyone is projecting on us, seeing what eventually we could do. Okay, thank you very much. If you want something, you ask me a clear yes or no question. And that's what my friend did. Ben, would you like to create something? Maybe. Okay, well, I'll ask you again later. And then she asked me again, Ben, do you have energy to create something? Would you be happy creating like a hub and something? Do you want to do that? That was a clear question.
Perfect with human design friends. But
yeah, you know, today,
I don't have it.
yeah. That's why I created the hub.
Yeah.
So we can
perfect.
have, you know, human design people that you guys can communicate with each other, you know, just like to show a little bit the hub for those who are watching the recording, the live on Facebook. But this is what the Hub 27 is. It's kind of like a Facebook platform where we have been putting so much information on design, where there's free classes, weekly things. There's a way to text to one another, to communicate with one another, to, you know, to be in touch with each other, to ask questions, to live our design, to experiment breathwork, to experiment so many things. That's what the hub is, and that's why I created that. So we can find our people, so we can have people who respect us. I know you're a generator. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I will ask you a question. Hey, would you like to do that? You know?
Perfect.
So that's how we respond. And also, obviously, when I got the downloads, well, it felt really good. Then, based on my feelings, like we shared yesterday during the breathwork class, finding my sweet spot. How do I feel about this? I feel good. I feel excited. I feel, wow, yes, energized. You know, if I don't feel good about it, it's not the right moment.
Exactly, because it's the timing too. Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yes, very good explained, because this is the thing that I've been struggling with the most after I learned a little bit about human design. So yeah. Yeah, and it's great.
There's tons of things.
Yeah.
You know, tons of things all the time that are coming my way. And my mind is like, that's what I say. You need to get your mind interested in the process of discovering who you are. As long as your mind is looking outside, oh, we should do this. And what about this? And let's go there. And maybe we can start that. And maybe I start this. And what about, and look at him. He has this already. And look at her. And blah, blah, blah. As long as your mind is looking outside, you're miserable. But if you get your mind interested.
Yeah, I don't know if Tom can relate to this, but I was so happy when I found out that I was supposed to be on the roof, because I already knew before I found human design 2 years ago that I already knew that I was, you know, I needed a break. And I stopped what I was doing and completely closed down my business as I was doing it and everything. And it had been my passion, but I burned myself out because I tried doing too much. But the point is, but as soon as I learned in human design that I was supposed to come off the roof now, then I started looking out. And then I don't want to, but sort of waiting for the call, because I am afraid of not afraid, but a little bit worried that I will miss my opportunity, sort of. Since I'm supposed to come off the roof or be called, and then I think, and what if I'm being called and I don't hear the call because I don't know how it's supposed to be, I don't know how to respond, and then
well, you know, it's I mean, I'm hearing what you say, and I'm gonna let Tom answer to that, but basically it really goes back to strategy and authority. It takes 7 years. At the moment you are introduced to design, it's going to take you 7 years of vigilance every day to decondition your mind, because right now what I'm hearing from you, it's mind stuff. It's your mind talking. It's the fear of your mind that nothing happened, that no one asked you question, that no one call you out, that if someone call you out, how do I do that? It's mind anxiety.
Yes. I
When,
totally agree. What I'm
you
trying
know,
to say is that I was happy with being left in on the roof for 2 years now after I found human design. But after somebody told me, when you are almost off the roof, then I started with the mind stuff again. That's what I'm saying. I was peaceful for 2 years, diving into human design, so happy I was on the roof. And then I heard somebody say, but now you are coming off the roof pretty soon. Your current return is now. And then I started with the mind stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Tom, is anything you would like to share about coming off the roof? I think it can be valuable information for us. We have 20 years, most of us, before we're going off the roof, but it can be a valuable information to know. I believe getting off the roof is really being comfortable as ourselves and being able to navigate in this world as ourselves, you know.
So there's a question that was asked some time back that I'd like to answer, that is going to start the answer to all these questions. All the questions are the same question, okay? All right. Somebody said, what are we to expect? You should expect the unexpected because that's what's coming. It hasn't happened before, okay? If we think we're going to do the new way, the way we've done the old way, we're not thinking very well. This is not so much about what we need to do. It's about what we need to be receptive to. The quad rights are showing up all of a sudden. All of a sudden, we got quad rights showing up. It's perfect, okay? Quad rights, we have no freaking idea what to do. The exalted state for a generator is to not know. I don't know. So what does that mean? It means you're receptive to finding out something new. If you want to repeat what's already happened, well, then you know. You know what that is. Let's do it again, okay? The definition of insanity is to do the same thing and expect a different result. We are all hopeful of a different result from what we've seen. When you stop and think about the fact that one of the second most dangerous thing to one of us is another one of us, that ought to tell you there's room for improvement, right? So we're looking for something else. Why are we here? Because we're looking for something else. What is that something else? We don't know. It hasn't happened yet. And that's coinciding with the fact that there's this whole shift that's happening. I'm not making the shift happen. Ben's not making the shift happen. All of us getting together is not going to make the shift happening. The shift is coming. It's happening. Okay? I've been watching these predictions come true for 28 years now. It's clear to me. It's coming. What we have to do is be receptive to it. That's all. So we're in a discovery process. Rather than thinking we know, we think, let's stay in observation, see what happens, and respond. Now, the responding, 70% of the people are generators responding. If it ain't a hell yes, then it's a hell no. There's no such thing as, oh, I'm a little bit pregnant. No, you're not. You either are pregnant or you are not. There is no, oh, I'm a little bit interested in that. No, a generator needs to be fully committed. Particularly an emotional generator, okay? Fully committed to what they're doing. If it ain't a hell yes, it's a hell no. Better to stay still than go to the wrong place really fast. That's what we've been doing, going to the wrong place really fast. So be receptive to something new and then pay attention to your response to it. Or as a projector, pay attention, do you feel recognized or invited into that for your guidance capacity? Everybody has a strategy and authority. That's a simple way to prevent you from going the wrong way. Doesn't necessarily assure you you're going exactly the right way. It just prevents you from going exactly the wrong way. And then eventually you'll make the adjustments. You know, you stand there at the helm of the ship with your hands on the steering wheel. Okay. You don't weld the steering wheel to the side of the boat. You're going to hit a bridge, another boat, or a solid piece of land before long. You got to stay there with it. So your response in the now, and then your response over time. But being receptive is really what we need to do. We need to quit being strategic. Now, it's not like strategic was all bad. It served its purpose. We survived. There's plenty of us little bastards and bitches running around. It's not about survival anymore. It's about thriving. Thriving, motivated by a loving feeling rather than fear. We're leaving the first line, insecure fear, and going to the sixth line, on the roof, objectivity and observation. And optimism. That's what's coming. This is not going to be a hard ride unless you resist it. You want to stay on the battlefield and shoot people? Fine. You'll all be gone before long. Okay. We're not going to keep, these new people, you want me to do what? No, I ain't doing that. Because they'll be emotionally aware. They can't do something that feels bad. How could I slip a knife between your ribs if I felt it going in between my own at the same time? So it's about being receptive. Yeah. So I hope we're getting the point across. I think we are. At least we're having the conversation, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just going to continue then to. Thank you. I'm just going to continue to enjoy my time on the roof then, and because I only got stressed when they started talking about it, and I'm just gonna, as a quadrite, I'm just gonna continue do what I do and to live this way that I want to live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
to meditate
it. Be yourself,
and
love yourself.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I think we're coming to an end. I just want to say 4 little things before we go. And in those 4 little things, I would love to invite our dear 60 Sergey projector. If you have anything to say, Sergey, I would love to hear your guidance, your wisdom as a projector. If there's anything you would like to share with us, please, you are deeply invited.
Oh, thank you, Ben. It's like, okay, I will show that this is not a picture of me. And I'm actually, yeah, hi, everybody. And as a 6'2", I just would like to invite every 6'2" to the hub, because Ben is talking about hub and what is the hub and what is it, what he shared were only from his perspective, and you will find a lot of other things that are very valuable for every one of us. And this is like,
yeah.
Extremely well said, Sergey. Every voice needs to be heard. Everybody has a contribution. And when you give us something to respond to and make a contribution, that's when it gets rich. You know what makes a diamond brilliant is all those facets. We are the facets. Without the facets, it's just a cloudy rock. So, you know, the more people come in and pipe in, there are no stupid questions. There are no stupid comments. You know, a point of view is a beautiful thing. Express it. We love it.
And I think this is like a sort of experiment for everybody involved into HD deeply. So we shouldn't ask like the person, the generator, if these direct questions. This is only because most of the people are projecting what they want for the generator to do. And actually, it could be anything if you're not projecting. It's like if you are speaking out of your authority, then it will be much more easier to respond correctly without even these direct and strange questions. And we should try this and do all together. So what is my...
Yeah, I like that. It's true because
I appreciate your mentioning that, Sir K, because it's like a lawyer leading the witness. You're asking the question to get the answer you want. Just ask the question and see what comes.
Yeah.
They want to get access to energy, right?
Yes, this is about energies. This is not about correctly putting words and being strategic in this sense. This is about living.
Can't say it any better than that. What projectors are here to do is to manage the energy of these crazy generators.
Yeah. I really like what you say, Sergey, because this is really true. I can see the difference when someone very detached and not interested in getting an answer from me is asking something or sharing something from the heart and based with the authority, my response to use my energy is completely different. So yeah, really.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then you get this feeling that energies are working and it's going the way it's supposed to be. Then this is some sort of enjoyment, and this brings you optimism into life, into your life.
Yeah, and Malik just say in the chat, trust and patience, 100%. It's about trust and patience.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you, Sergey. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah.
Yeah, just about living and hard times for 6-2 lines, and for everybody who involved in HD. You want to live correctly in a very much non-correct world, and it's absolutely hard for you, and you should keep in mind that the program is shifting, and you have just to wait a little bit more to see how great is the change will be.
Yeah, totally. Well, thank you very much to all of you for this contribution. I'm so happy and fulfilled and excited for this casual Sunday that we have right now and we had today. So just to remind all of you who are watching the live, it will be recorded. So there's the live recording. I will upload it on my YouTube channel. To remind you, can have access to YouTube channel, and there's tons of videos on the Hub 27 and the Rising Phoenix. We have been putting a lot of things, and I just released a new video this morning that is how to not react when triggered. And that's based on my experience that I had yesterday. I had so much aha moment and insight. So I was like, I'm just gonna make a quick video to share this with people. But anyway, everything is here on the YouTube channel for those of you who are interested. For those of you who are watching, please join us. We will be more than happy to have you live with us and hear from your perspective, hear from your questions, sharing with you observation and comments. For that, you can join the Hub 27, and I will put the link in the bio so you can click and join the hub. There's a small contribution of $14. If you cannot pay the $14, you choose the other one, which is $9. It's a very cheap contribution, and you get a lot of things. I want to say a big thank you to Malik as well, who sent me on a private message tons of information that he has about human design. So some videos and audios that I'm going to work on, and I will share that into the hub. So that will be available for all of us in the hub as well. So thank you, Malik, a lot for that. And I know Sergey as well have been putting a lot of information, some PDF and ebooks, everything that we have been gathering over the year, you know, trying to embody and live this information. So Tom and I are putting this information in the hub, and of course, you know, big thank you to Tom, who most of the audios that we have access to, Tom, you know, recorded that from raw, so it's really amazing. I think that's it. That's just what I wanted to say before we go. So thank you very much. That was Transit. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you for those of you who are on the other side of the world and waking up in the middle of the night to being here. And thanks for those of you in Europe. And thanks to those of you in the US here. So I'm sending you a lot of love. Feel free to unmute yourself to say a final word. Maybe Tom, anything final word, or anyone want to say something before I see you next week?
This is community. It feels good. I love it. Thanks for showing up. I hope your faces are hurting. That's always a good sign that you had plenty to smile about this time. And that's what it's all about. This life is not meant to be a struggle. It's really not.
I'm really glad I woke up at 3 a.m.
Yeah, amazing.
We are too.
Yeah. All right. Well, lot of love to everyone. Thank you. Stay in observation. Keep enjoying this contemplation. the direction we are going. Oh, we haven't looked at that, but what's coming next? Let me quickly say it. So after the hexagram 20th, we're gonna have the 16. So we're taking the direction and the contemplation of the skills. So we will look at what kind of skills we want to communicate and keep nourishing and keep using. So that's what's coming in 2-3 days when the sun will move into the gate 16. So we will talk about this next Sunday. Amazing. Thank you to all of you. Thank you, Tom. Bye bye, everyone. Much love.
Bye, guys. Love and light.
Bye.
Bye.
Uh-huh.